in the Radio Wammo breakfast. The time now is 9:13. The tribal sounds that you're hearing in the background there is the trailer to, the full cinematic trailer, I should say, to Age of Empires Online. Age of Empires, a Microsoft franchise going way back on the PC, but you normally had to go out and buy a box and then go and install it on your computer. Now, though, boy, times have moved on. It's online, and apparently it's free. Gerard has been having a wee good go at it. A game junkie over at stuff.co.nz and also his own Game Junkie blog as well. G'day to Gerard.
G'day Wammo, how are you?
Good. I'm a big fan of these games going way back. The Gods, I think they used to be called, where you were the overall lord looking down on the plains and harvesting materials and then going out and fighting other armies with your armies and then taking over the world. Always a fan of that.
Taking over the world. You're a big fan of taking over the world, Wammo?
Absolutely. Give me the tools.
Absolutely.
I'll do it.
Yeah, and because of course the Age of Empire games are really good. I mean, I really enjoyed those on, the PC real-time strategy games where you had to mine all your resources and sort of build your civilization up, and then you'd sort of take on other civilizations and ultimately try to be sort of the ruler of the known universe. Yeah, probably.
You know where
who doesn't want to? Well, doesn't want a bit of that?
Who doesn't want a bit of that? You know where I got the first Age of Empires one, because I didn't get it when it first came out. I don't think I had a PC at the time, but a number of years later, it was on the back of a cereal packet. They were giving it away with cereal. Yeah,
that's what's happened to Age of Empires, back of cereal boxes.
That's right.
Goodness me!
But then you had number 2 and 3, right?
Yeah, and there was expansion packs for it, and it was a really solid, popular series. But at some stage, I guess in its wisdom, Microsoft decided that it would shut down Ensemble Studios, who were also the studio which made Halo Wars, which is another real-time strategy sort of based on the Halo world.
Yeah.
But out of the ashes of Ensemble, some of the guys from there started up Robot Entertainment, who've been involved in this Age of Empires Online, and also Gas Powered Games, which is a studio of Chris Taylor, who's a game designer who's behind the original Dungeon Siege games and another RTS called Supreme Commander. I guess this Age of Empires Online, I guess, is Microsoft's way of trying to, resurrect its involvement in, real-time strategy games.
Yeah.
Of course, games like StarCraft have really popularised RTS in the last few years, and it's been incredibly popular and shows that it can be done. And
then Command and Conquer, I suppose, was the other series that was
Command and Conquer was a really good game from Westwood and that sort of thing as well.
And in fact, Warcraft first started out as a game like that, before World of Warcraft.
Yeah, so there's a whole the genre's there, and but for some reason Microsoft sort of thought that it obviously wasn't doing what it wanted to for them. So this, as the name implies, it's an online game. So it's you download the client and then you log into the servers and you play it, and it's got a real cartoony sort of. I've likened it sort of a Disney cartoon almost look to it, very sort of cartoony, and it's. Probably compared to the Age of Empire games involved in StarCraft, it's probably sort of a real-time strategy light. There doesn't seem to be, doesn't seem to be the head-scratching strategy that you're going to require for the old ones.
Right.
But it's got a few sort of MMO elements thrown in as well. But as you said, the
MMO. What's MMO?
Massively multiplayer online. Worldy type thing.
Okay.
Sort of crafting and sort of you can upgrade weapons and those sorts of bits and pieces.
Right.
But the big thing is that you're right. It's free to play. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here to play for free. You start out with your basic civilization. I think either Egypt or Greece.
Yeah.
And you start out in your capital city and you do quests and you learn experience points and you can send off your little villagers to sort of mine gold and stone and chop down wood and hunt for food, which sort of increases your village and makes it bigger, and you can build new buildings. But also what it has got is that while you can play for a while without having to pay a cent, it has been monetized in the fact that you can buy premium civilizations, which are obviously going to be more powerful than your standard ones, and you're going to be able to do different things with them.
But doesn't the game go that you start off with a primitive sort of civilization, then work your way up anyway?
Yeah, you do. But there are these premium civilizations which you can buy, which will let you use, rare and epic gear apparently, and you can use advisor cards, and you can spend and buy faction points and those sort of things. So there are things that you will be able to do with these premium civilizations that you're not able to do with your sort of basic ones. And I also understand that too, that if you want to play ranked player versus player matches, you're going to need to sort of do some purchasing there too.
Okay.
But and sort of the the premium civilizations cost about $30. And then you get booster packs, which are like new game modes, which cost you about $14.95, $15. And then you can also buy, I guess you could call them vanity items for your capital city.
Yeah.
Probably statues and deity statues and those sorts of things, which will cost you about $10. So certainly you can play it without having to pay a cent.
And are you always playing against other people, or can you just play against the computer, the AI?
You can play against the AI. The missions start off pretty simply, but then as you sort of rank up in your levels, you can play cooperatively some of the missions as well. And a lot of the missions I've played at this stage just on my own, because I haven't been able to find anybody to play cooperatively, but they do seem to me that they'd be a lot easier to complete with another player. Like there might be maps that have got a lot of enemies that you've got to take care of, or you might have to collect a whole lot of, merchants' carts and those sort of things and return them to your city. But in the meantime, what you've got to try and track those down, you've got to fight the foes as well. So it does get a bit chaotic. So having a second player there giving you a hand would actually be really handy. So you can play cooperatively and you can play single player wise. I don't know how it will appeal to the those purist real-time strategy, StarCraft, old core, hardcore, Age of Empires players. But I think for, and I think that this is probably an indication too that, it's this move where a lot of developers are moving to sort of web-based, online-based, social sort of games too.
And upselling as well.
And upselling too, that the basic model's free to play. Here it is, and you're going to get a lot, and you do get a lot of content, for the free mode. But then, if you want, you can purchase these things. But the only thing that I think that is that if you can buy premium civilizations, which might be stronger or might give you more powers, then that would certainly put you at an advantage over, if you're playing an online match, that would put you at an advantage over someone who perhaps had just a basic civilization. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the model goes, because of course a lot of I guess it's a sort of new model where instead of just buying new units or new whatever, you're actually buying new civilizations as a whole pack, so you're buying and I don't know whether they differ, how each civilization differs. I'd assume that they'd sort of take traits from each civilization and sort of differ, so it'd be interesting to see whether this model works for Microsoft and whether it will catch on with other developers.
Okay, well, the website...
But yeah, it's out now.
If you want to check it out, it's ageofempiresonline.com, and you still need a PC, though, right?
Yes, you do. Yeah, it's a PC. It uses games for Windows Live, but, of course, that will let you... and there are achievements for it, too, so...
Okay. All right, excellent.
That'll link your game score. So, yeah.
Well, you can view... you can view this as a video once more if you head along to the Game Junkie 2.0 blog or kiwifm.co.nz. But thanks very much, Gerard. We'll see you next week.
You will. Thanks, Wammo.
Time now here on Kiwi.